Joey Logano had a Sunday at Phoenix that he will not forget anytime soon, and neither will the drivers who got caught up in his wake. Two separate incidents, multiple cars wrecked, several teams watching their race fall apart in real time, and Logano right in the middle of all of it, twice. That is the kind of day that makes the NASCAR garage a very uncomfortable place when the checkered flag finally drops. Let's walk through exactly what happened, because there were two completely different moments that shaped this race in a big way. The first one came on lap 217, right in the middle of a restart. Restarts at Phoenix are always a flashpoint. The track is short and tight, everybody is fighting for position at the same time, and the margins are razor thin. Logano went for a gap on Ross Chastain and made hard contact, bumping Chastain and sending him spinning. That spin immediately triggered a wreck that also swept up Austin Cindric and Anthony Alfredo. 3 cars damaged in a matter of seconds, all from one aggressive restart move. But here is what made this moment different from your typical crash and move on situation. After the race, Joey Logano did not dodge it. He went straight to Ross Chastain in the garage and personally apologized for the move. He took full responsibility, no excuses, no deflection. And Chastain reportedly appreciated it and accepted the apology. 2 drivers handling a messy situation the right way, even when emotions were running high. That kind of accountability does not always happen in NASCAR, and it stood out. The second incident was a different story entirely. Lap 255. Logano went into turn 1 and made contact with AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger actually saw the situation developing and lifted off to try and give Logano some room. But it was not enough. They still made contact, and the touch sent Logano's car spinning up the track with no room left to maneuver. What happened next took out 4 cars in one shot. Logano went sliding up into traffic and crashed hard into Josh Berry, Daniel Suarez, and Chase Elliott. All 4 drivers were caught up in the wreck. Logano, Berry, and Suarez were all done for the day, knocked completely out of the race. Elliott also took damage and had to battle through the rest of the afternoon with a hurt car. When Logano spoke about this one after the race, he kept it simple. He said it was a racing incident. Everybody ran out of space. No blame, no drama. Just a tight track doing what tight tracks do late in a race when everybody is still pushing hard. Now, it is worth being clear about something, because there has been some noise online about a massive garage blow-up and teams demanding NASCAR penalties after Phoenix. That is not really what went down. Yes, 2 crashes happened. Yes, several teams had their race ruined. And yes, Allmendinger did speak about the importance of track awareness and respecting other drivers when the field is packed in close together. That is a fair point, and one drivers feel strongly about. But the general mood coming out of the Phoenix garage was not a full-blown controversy demanding official action. Most people inside the sport looked at these 2 incidents as hard racing and bad luck at a track that does not forgive mistakes. Messy? Absolutely. A scandal? Not quite. The real drama was happening on the track, not in the garage afterward. Now let's get into what else came out of Phoenix, because while all of that chaos was playing out on the track, the Cup Series point standings were also moving in some really interesting directions. Tyler Reddick is still leading the championship. He finished 8th at Phoenix, and that result officially ended his 3-race winning streak to start the season. 3 wins in a row to open a year is already a remarkable achievement, so an 8th-place finish is far from a disaster. But it does mean the gap at the top is no longer growing quite as fast. Reddick currently sits at 225 points and holds a 127-point advantage over 17th place. That cushion is massive this early in the season and is a direct reflection of just how clean and consistent his racing has been across every single event so far. The biggest mover in the standings after Phoenix was the man who stood in victory lane. Ryan Blaney won the Straight Talk Wireless 500, holding off Christopher Bell in a strong late race run to take the checkered flag. That win was worth a lot more than just the trophy. It launched Blaney up to 2nd place in the overall standings, where he now sits with 165 points. He is the closest driver to Reddick right now and is going to be a serious factor in the championship conversation going forward. Bubba Wallace currently sits 3rd in the standings. Chase Elliott is 4th, which is a solid result considering the damage his car absorbed in that late race incident. and Shane Van Gisbergen rounds out the top 5, which remains one of the more quietly compelling storylines of this early season. A little further down, Christopher Bell and Joey Logano are sitting completely tied at 113 points each. That is a tight battle in that section of the standings, and it is honestly a little surprising that Logano is still holding that position after the day he had at Phoenix. The points he had already banked earlier in the season are doing a lot of work for him right now. Michael McDowell and Chris Buescher are also right there in the mix. Kyle Larson is inside the top 10. And William Byron, Denny Hamlin, AJ Allmendinger, Carson Hocevar, Ty Gibbs, and Brad Keselowski are all sitting just above that playoff cut line in the top 16. The most important number coming out of Phoenix might be 2. That is how many points separate Daniel Suarez from Brad Keselowski and that 16th place playoff spot. Suarez is currently sitting in 17th, just 2 points outside the cutoff, after being knocked out of the race in that second Logano incident. Had his car not been collected in that wreck, those 2 points might not even be a conversation right now. Instead, he is sitting on the wrong side of the line by the slimmest possible margin. One good race fixes it. One more bad race makes it worse. That is life on the playoff bubble in NASCAR. Further back in the standings, Ryan Preece, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Ty Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Cody Ware, Chase Briscoe, Connor Zilisch, Cole Custer, and Alex Bowman are all trying to string together the kind of results that push them back into playoff contention. When you step back and look at everything Phoenix produced, it all connects in a way that makes the next few weeks feel really important. Logano had 2 crashes in the same race, owned one of them completely, and walked away still tied for a top 10 spot in the standings. Suarez had his race ended by the second incident and now finds himself 2 points short of the playoffs. Berry is in a similar tough position. Elliott is 4th in points despite taking damage late. One messy Sunday at Phoenix, real consequences that are going to follow these drivers for weeks. The standings are tight, the garage is still processing what happened, and the season has a long way to go.